Well, I can't complain. It's just that our light is off for maintenance, regular maintenance. So I forgot to charge my phone battery.
Okay. Then I guess you have to keep this very brief. But help us answer that question. Is it the right way for the New Patriotic Party to go? Early election of a flag bearer.
Well, let me say good morning to you and to your good listeners. That would be a difficult question to answer. I can only say that only time will tell if that decision will not be a benefit. But I can hazard a guess as to why they want to have such an early conference, as it were, to elect their flag bearer. It is because if you followed my analysis, I said that on the whole unity walk, thank you tour started, I made them understand that it was a non-starter in the first place because you cannot lose miserably and say you're going on a thank you tour. It must rather be a unity tour, not a thank you tour. Now, I have voted against you. How do you come and thank me? That is a cynical way of responding to my vote against you. Thanking me when I did you in. No. Linguistically, it was unacceptable. Secondly, there is total disunity within the party, from the grassroots to the top. And you could see, these traits of disunity in the voices of the likes of Kennedy Japan and other, elected officials who have aligned themselves with Obama and vice versa. So, in the wisdom of the party, if they get the leadership right from the word go, then it means that everybody else will have no option than to fall in line. That probably, in the wisdom of the party executive, is the best way to go. But as to whether that will need to their benefit, only time will tell. Because to do so, operationalizing that concept, according to them, they are going to use the old album. And you are not going to have new delegates coming into the place. It will be the old elected delegates that will be electing a new presidential candidate. Now, here is the case. The majority of these old delegates voted for the establishment candidate, and that is the Bawumia. So from the word go, it appears to me that one person has advantage over the rest. Because even if they decide some of them decide to vote against the Bawumia, you don't have to see an overwhelming shift from what transpired before the 2024 election. They will definitely want to vote for him to give him another chance. But structurally, it would have inured to the benefit of the Bawumia as against the other presidential hopefuls.
So you're suggesting that if 2020, is it 2023, 2024, is anything to go by, this kind of decision only favors Dr. Bawumia?
Certainly.
But are there any guarantees, considering the mood of the party, as you point out now, that they're not happy with their performance? Perhaps people felt that Nana Akufo-Addo was a bit more so overbearing that people had no choice than to fall in line. That Nana Addo has since lost that power significantly. That power has been eroded significantly since they lost the elections. That Dr. Bawumia will not have that support, that overbearing influence anymore. So are there any guarantees?
Well, that is a possibility. It is not a bad argument to put forth. But if there is going to be that overwhelming shift, I don't see that happening. Now, then we will also have to consider certain factors. The fact is that if one is popular within the party, does that guarantee the attractiveness of that person to the electorate outside the party. So they may have to consider that as well. And if you look at the candidates, Dr. Bawumia will not bring any revolutionary change. But if you look at the architecture, the organogram of the current dispensation, it will definitely favor him. So, irrespective of the way you look at it, yes, I know buying a tampon is very resourceful. He may push his weight along the line. But that will easily affect the vote of Mr. Kennedy Japan instead of Mr. Bawumia. That being said, if the party really believes in a revolutionary change and that they still believe that Mr. Akufo-Addo definitely has a stranglehold over the Bawumia, and his approval rating, according to Global Info Analytics, by November 2024 was somewhere 20-something%. Then it means that you wouldn't want anybody to identify you with such, a disapproved candidate. And you could see traits of Dr. Bawumia taking himself off the shadow, of the former president, one way or the other, because he sees it as a need that he ought to do. So by and large, I don't see that, drastic shift, taking place. Because the elected will also have to consider the electability, of Dr. Brian Japan and that of Kennedy Japan outside the party. And you know very well that within the two main political parties, their support base can never win a 50+1. It is always the neutrals, the non-aligned, the floating voters, and so on and so forth. That always makes a difference. So you will want a candidate that will appeal. But with the baggage that Dr. Bawumia has, will he really appeal to those demographics that I have mentioned? We may also not forget Dr. Dixon. He may not be a grassroots, but he comes to me as an unblemished candidate, more than all the other leading candidates. But, of course, the decision is the delegate or, the party faithful. They will have to take that particular decision. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. Maybe should Dr. Bawumia, he may be considered as the running mate. Yeah.
Very interesting. But Prof, if you were to Doc, if you were to advise, which way should they have handled this? Because what you're talking about is this is a party yearning for unity, perhaps for a change in leadership. I'm sure everybody sitting there who was making this decision on how to elect the next leader is unpopular within the party, and they may face even losing at the Congress. The national chairman. The family of the national chairman has written a letter to the party saying he is unavailable for now. This is a situation the party finds itself. Is this the best time for this group of leadership to be the one deciding how a flag bearer is elected, or they should have made way for a new leadership before that decision is made? How should they have gone about it?
Well, the grassroots will speak. If indeed it was the right decision, they will speak. If indeed it was the bad decision, they will definitely speak. But to do a top-bottom approach, apart from certain ramifications that I have outlined, it is not good for democracy, because it is very easy for those at the grassroots level to align from the bottom to the top with Dr. Bawumia, and that is not good for constitutional democracy. In fact, it could appear as a kind of dictatorial democracy where everybody else will now want to align themselves with Dr. Bawumia instead of having a competitive competition in terms of democracy. Once the top is elected, everybody else will want to fall in line because nobody wants to be seen to be opposed to that. And that in itself will create a situation where, others who feel peeved will want to sit on the fence and allow them to do their own thing.
Doc, thank you. And thank you very much for speaking to us this one. I guess we'll have so much to talk about going into those presidential primaries, but thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, my brother.
That's Dr. Jonathan Asante, who is Senior Political Science Lecturer at University of Cape Coast, and of course a political analyst, also join us to have that conversation on the MPP's early presidential primaries. It's like an upside-down situation where the people who are in charge currently say we would like to decide who the flag bearer of the party is before we are even voted on. We want to have our say before we go. So I'm sure they know that they are going, but they've decided that we will choose the next flag bearer for you. We will choose the next flag bearer for you.